Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is time for another book review, and this time it is going to be on Kristin Hannah, The Nightingale. So, first off, let's just look at this cover right here. I am like in love with the cover. This story does take place in Paris, France, and you can obviously the Eiffel Tower and just this gold detailing right here of the Nightingale, which is really nice. So this book does take place during the First World War, i.e. when Hitler was a total D-bag. And it tells the story of two sisters, Vianne and Isabelle. Now these two sisters are forced at a very young age. I think Vianne was around 10 and Isabelle was around 4. And they had to deal with their mother dying at that very young age. And because their father could not handle the death of his wife, he wasn't handling it in the very best of ways, so he figures that he can't take care of two young girls, so he in turn sends them to an orphanage of sorts. He gives them to a nun who then in turn gives them to an orphanage. Now Vianne is the oldest. She is the one who kind of deals with the fact that her mother died. She is the one who doesn't expect much from her father. She is almost the people pleaser of sorts. She doesn't talk back. She always does what she is told. She is basically the epitome of a young lady, and she is the complete total opposite of her younger sister. Now when Vianne does turn 16, she does get pregnant, and during that time she meets her future husband, who is, the father to this baby, and they end up getting married, and that is what starts the story off of this book. This does take place during almost the late 1920s, early 1930s. It kind of goes back and forth from when they were a little bit younger, like in flashbacks, to a little bit more in the future, and then obviously during the main part of the story, which is during the war. Now Vianne's younger sister, Isabelle, she is the one who gets the most attention from all the male people. She is described to be as very beautiful. She knows that she is beautiful, and at times she will use that beauty to get what she wants. She is very bullheaded to the point where she just doesn't care what she kind of does things without really thinking them through, and she doesn't care about the repercussions of what she does. And once the war starts going, she's the one who starts to kind of see all the things that are being done, and she wants to do something about it. She wants to help her country fight in this war. She's trying all throughout the book, trying to get help, trying to help people, and her sister kind of tells her, no, don't do that. And her sister Vianne is very adamant to the fact that she doesn't want her younger sister to have anything to do with the war. She already has her husband out in the war. She has to take care of her younger daughter, and now she's basically kind of like that needy person. She needs all the help that she can get. And because Isabelle, who is constantly being thrown between all these different boarding schools, she's constantly getting kicked out because she doesn't listen. She doesn't want to be in those boarding schools, or etiquette schools I should say, where they learn like how to hold a knife and how to hold a fork, and you go like that, and Isabelle doesn't want to have anything to do with that. She wants to go and fight for the war. She wants to do her effort to help the war win against, the Germans. So once the war starts, her father, who is a little bit kind of in and out of both their lives, he doesn't completely disappear. He pretty much tells them to the point where, hey, I don't want to see your faces, so if you have to, you can't live with me. So Isabelle, after being finally kicked from her last etiquette school, boarding school, whatever you want to call it, goes to her father to find out where she has to go to next, which she is sent to her older sister Vianne, because as I said before, Vianne's husband was just enlisted for the war, and Vianne has a younger daughter, so Isabelle is needed with Vianne to help take care of both of them. Now Vianne and Isabelle are not what you would say are close sisters. They clash a lot during the book. One says one thing, the other one doesn't agree. the other one says another thing, the other one totally wants to smack the other sister. Now, I said before, because of their mother dying at a very young age, Vienna does take it a little bit more with stride. She understands that her mother did die. She does understand that her father is going through a horrible transition in his life, as well as Vienna and Isabel. And Vienna kind of holds it in more. Whereas Isabel, she is very persistent to know, where is my mother? Where has she gone? Why is Daddy sending us away? And it's very sad to see that a little 4-year-old is saying all those things to her older sister, because that's all they have now. Because once they are sent to this orphanage at the ages of 10 and 4, they are all they have. But because of the age differences, Vienna and Isabel do grow apart. Vienna does go towards more of friends her age, and she does kind of leave her younger sister behind. And in turn, Isabel is very resentful of that fact. She feels that she was left behind yet once again, not just by her mother, but by her older sister, who should have been taking care of her. But obviously, once the war starts, Isabel is being sent to Vienna to help take care of Vienna's daughter. And Isabel does not like that. She does not want to have anything to do with having to, have to do, womanly chores. She wants to go help with the war instead. And that is really when the book really starts to begin to get really, really interesting. I mean, even from the beginning, it was just like, I could not stop it. I read this literally within 5 hours, and it was just really great. I guess that is what I liked about the younger sister. She did not take no for an answer, even though, yes, she is a woman. She wants to go fight for the war, whatever she can, whether it be in the medical profession or just, giving food or anything like that she can to help the soldiers in this war. And she is just so determined to do the right thing, and even though sometimes she does go at it head first without thinking of the repercussions of her actions, she still does it. And it did kind of make me want to yell at my book saying, no, listen to your sister, you got to think this through. But at the same time, you got to understand her point of view, because she doesn't just want to see all those soldiers being killed off for nothing. I did tend to gravitate towards the younger sister a little bit more. I did enjoy reading her points of view in this book. The older sister, I kind of had it took me a little bit to really fully understand her. I mean, at first, she is kind of described as, I felt that she was being a little bit more on the naive side. I felt that Isabel was more of the bullheaded naive, whereas her older sister was kind of the naive. Like, because some of the things that she said in the book, it made it clear that she did not understand what was going on with the war. But at the same time, as the story continues to go and go and go, you understand that Vienna was just doing it to keep her family safe. I will say that this book, it does go into a lot of details. It does have some action. It does have insinuations of rape, but it's not, overly detailed or anything. It's just that the way that the author wrote it, that you know what happens, and it's just the way that the author wrote it is just like, it made you kind of like, wow, did that really happen? Holy crap. And the book does switch point of views between the two sisters, so it's really being told from only Vienna's or Isabel's point of view. And the book does kind of do a little bit of time traveling. It does go in flashbacks. The main story does take place between 1930 all the way till the end of the war, and there are some flashbacks when the girls are 10 and 4, but that's only in like those little flashbacks during the main part of the book. And then it does flash forward to the mid 1990s, but I won't say anything about that, because then that will totally ruin the whole aspect of the story. And this book is a bit of a tearjerker, especially towards the ending. So if you cry easily, you might need some tissues for this book. All in all, I did really enjoy this book. I think that the writing that the author did in this book was very well. She gives enough details to let us know what is going on, what is going to happen, and just reading it, we were able to see how much each of the characters really progressed during the war. You can see how much it affected them to have to go living in this war, going from being able to eat every day to not even being able to get a grain of rice. And just the storyline between the two sisters, it just starts off so sad that these girls are just so clashing with each other, and at points they want to rip each other's hair off because they don't listen to each other. And at the end of the day, this book is about sibling love. I mean, there is no greater story than that, you know, especially during the war that this is happening, where there is just constant death going all around them, and, you know, betrayals and just chaotic that is happening in both their lives at the same time, especially what this war brings to them in their lives. Obviously, you know, we do get to see, the main point of this story is about the two sisters, but we do get to see not just them, we get to meet other characters that are in their lives, whether it be good or be bad. I think that's what the author did really, really nice. She didn't just add a character in there to kind of make it a filler character. All of these characters were in there for a reason. And just from the characters to the background to the writing, I highly recommend this book, especially if you like to read books about siblings and the war. Anytime you read a book about war, you gotta wonder if it really did happen. Obviously, Anne Frank is the really biggest story, personally for me, that I think of when you think of World War. I like to say that this is a truthful book because it could have happened. This, even though this is fiction, it could have happened because it does take place during a very real time. Could have happened to real people that we don't know about, obviously, and it's just one of those real books that have an effect on you. So that is going to be it for this book review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments what you think I should do a book review on next. I am actually reading Breakfast at Tiffany's right now. I actually went to Barnes & Noble the other day and I got the third book of the Maze Runner series because I just finished the second one. I finished it after reading this one, and I have to admit that I did like the second one a lot better than the first one, even though I did like the first one, but I actually like the second one because it kind of ends at one of those points where it's like, gotta figure out what happens. So I'm really excited to read the third one. But if you guys have any other book ideas that I could read or do a review on, let me know, because I'm a little bit stuck. I think I have some ideas, but I'm not sure because I gotta read them. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye. What was that? It's a bit cloudy out today. I really love my new bookshelf. It's like, because before I had all my books in totes. Yeah, I know, it's really, really bad. So now I can finally just kind of be like, oh, I want to read that one. And as you can see, these are all books that I actually need to read. There's actually much more down there, like literally two shelves almost that I need to read. It's pretty bad.